that brings us to the lead, brought to you by Grand Prix Motorsports. If you are looking for the original motorcycle, talking about the Indian motorcycle, there's only one place you can find it in all of Colorado. That is Grand Prix Motorsports.
Where's Tim?
You're
Jim.
holding up the cup and you are pretending
Where's
like
Jim?
you are riding one.
I need a picture of
Love
Jim.
that. Jim's going to come up at the end.
What about Gary?
Gary comes up at the end of each segment. And it's Terry.
Oh, Terry.
Not Gary.
Tim and Gary.
Good relationship with both of them.
By the way, if you want to find Grand Prix Motorsports,
Sorry, guys.
you can off of County Line in Santa Fe.
He's going to go out for St. Patty's Day with both of them and drink until he remembers
Their names, yeah, exactly.
Maybe you can ride on the back of one of their chieftains.
I would love to. Those are my guys.
Okay. All right.
Great friends.
All right. Per Chris Dempsey, Nuggets management made a decision. Not going to play Ty Lawson last night. Fareed Gallinari. Do you like management making these type of lineup decisions? Or do you have a problem with it?
I don't really have a problem with it. My only problem is this, is that Melvin Hunt has done a great job. Melvin Hunt, I mean, some people like to poo-poo what Melvin Hunt has done by saying, well, they hated Brian Shaw so much that anybody's good by comparison and they would play better for anybody. That was a dispirited team. It had a coach in Brian Shaw who didn't trust his players who had quit listening to the coach, and they were playing out the string. And Melvin Hunt came in there as a ball of energy, a ball of positivism, and as Mr. Hochman wrote today, he deserves a shot to get this job full time because he's done a good enough job. And if you take away 3 of his best players when the team's on the road, it doesn't help build Melvin Hunt's resume. So I have a problem with that. But if Golden State or San Antonio at the top of the standings can rest players, then why can't a team at the bottom of the standings rest players?
Well, I think there's a difference. I think the teams at the top of the standings are preparing for something bigger. I think the teams at the bottom of the standings are being accused of tanking for a better pick.
And that's a good point, Eric. I think the one thing we can talk about is Gallinari notably. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's rather fragile, and we're talking about a guy who, I know it sounds like a lot of time, 14 months since the surgery, but hey, the team doctors who know just a little bit more about being a doctor than I do, even though sometimes I lie to people and say I'm a doctor, is the fact that...
You're a proctologist.
All right.
I don't know what's so funny about that.
You guys talk among yourselves.
So with the Gallinari, they're saying, hey, we're not playing for the playoffs now. Let's make sure we don't put Danilo Gallinari in a situation where next season he's dealing with an injury again. Let's be cautious with him on back-to-backs. Now, it did look, and it's my understanding that they had talked about resting other guys during this time for the same reason. We don't want to play Ty 40 minutes and 2 nights in a row. That could maybe lead to an injury. Why put us in a situation where we injure our top trade commodity, if you will?
So this is what I have a problem with. If you want to see your young players play, that's cool. And it's as legit to me as resting Tim Duncan for the playoff run. It really is. But then last night, they play Randy Foye for 33 minutes and Gary Harris for 17 minutes.
Right.
So what are you really accomplishing there? You know? So maybe if you don't rest Ty Lawson, maybe Gary Harris gets 3 minutes. So he got more time. But if you want to see Gary Harris play, start him and let him play.
Give him 4 minutes.
Yeah, give him 4 minutes.
All right, that segment was brought to you by Grand... Whoa.
That's a reference to
what is in there? Seriously.
Green beer.
There you go. I want to let you know once again that segment was brought to you by Grand Prix Motorsports. If you are looking for the original motorcycle,
there we go.
That's the Indian. That's Jim Zazinski, 2014 Indian Chieftain. And of course, he got it at Grand Prix Motorsports off of County Line and Santa Fe.